Anand Ranganathan, how do you respond to our great Mr. Mondol here, who has made some very incisive points?
Good evening,
Objection if Mr. Mondal is fundamentally against Section 295A and supports the freedom of expression of anyone who says anything against anyone's religion, from Salman Rushdie to Charlie Hebdo journalist, to Nupur, who incidentally quoted Islamic scriptures, to this film director who has portrayed the goddess Kali in the light that she feels. But the problem is hypocrisy. That is the issue. Because those supporting the woman who offended religious sensibilities of Hindus today were till last week demanding the arrest of a woman for offending the religious sensibilities of Muslims. इनकी ये समझ में नहीं आता है कि भैया this is hypocrisy and it is mind-boggling. In fact, it is institutional. Rahul, you know one op-ed intellectual who writes every Sunday, who till recently supported Salman Rushdie, like all of us did, but now calls him Islamophobic. Read his column. He called him Islamophobic and no longer supports him. Because if he did, then he'd also have to support Nupur Sharma, and he doesn't want to do this. This is what passes off as intellect in this country. क्या करें? करें तो करें क्या? When it comes to Islam, do you remember how Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on the floor of our parliament demanded an apology from Denmark for the Prophet cartoons? Remember how Sonia Gandhi publicly apologized to his Shahi Imam of Jama Masjid for them? But when it comes to Hinduism, it's a free-for-all. I guess Hindus are today tired of selective targeting and this hypocrisy. Secularism, I'm afraid, is not a one-way street. If it isn't the popular discourse, the stand-up comics, the tweets mocking Hinduism, the Tanishq ad or the Red Label ad where it projected a Hindu as bigoted and non-accepting of his Muslim neighbor, it is done by parties like the DMK or TMC or the Congress. All those Gaumutra jibes, Shivling jokes, terming Hindu god Parshuram as a terrorist and a rapist, claiming Hindu epics are replete with misogyny and Me Too instances, celebrating Tipu Jayanti despite knowing that he demolished hundreds of temples and converted and butchered lakhs of Hindus. And who can forget the phrase saffron terror, or that the fact that communal violence bill where only the majority, i.e. Hindus, even in Kashmir, where they are minority, would be held guilty in a communal riot. Rahul, if we are talking of mainstreaming hate, why are we as a nation so scared to even make public the preachings that render Abrahamic religions exclusivist and supremacist? So although I am not for banning any ad or any stand-up comic or film that mocks Hinduism or Hindu gods, because there are so many, especially lately, it would be a good idea for the makers to append their creative works with a small print that says, quote, yes, we are mocking Hindu beliefs and Hindu gods because we can, and Hindus have always accepted this. We dare not mock Islam or its practices or its prophet or God, because if we do, we'll be beheaded like or killed like Charlie Hebdo journalist of Kamlesh Tiwari. In fact, we are too scared to even support an alleged blasphemer, because even that harmless act of solidarity will get us beheaded like Kanhaiya Lal or Kole. Just this simple small print will assuage the Hindus and make the Muslims realize that we all live in a country that used to cherish the freedom to criticize religion, and where the punishment for apostasy or for being a kafir is not death.